Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Shreya Dhondial. As always, it is good to see you. It's a pot boiler like none other. A star kid in jail and the man who arrested him facing charges of extortion and bribery. 40-year-old Sameer Wankhede, the IRS officer leading the charge against Bollywood and its so-called drug connections, finds himself surrounded by some very, very murky allegations. And these allegations, just by the way, are coming by way of the NCB's own witness in the Aryan Khan case. The NCB has now ordered a vigilance inquiry against its own man to probe if Shah Rukh Khan's manager, Pooja Dadlani, indeed paid or was asked to pay a bribe of 8 crore rupees to Wankhede to let off Aryan. What a complicated hot mess this is turning out to be. Wankhede will be in Delhi tomorrow for a promotion interview at the UPSC. But with the Wankhede government in Maharashtra gunning against him, will the Mumbai police arrest the NCB officer? Fact is stranger than fiction. Is Sameer Wankhede an upright officer fighting the rich and powerful? Or is he an extortionist shaming his profession? We look at that on Debrief today. Before that, the story so far.
On the intervening night of the 2nd and 3rd of October, when images of Aryan Khan's arrest were being splashed across TV screens and on social media, one stood out. A selfie with the accused. It was taken by Kiran Gosavi, a private investigator who has been absconding ever since. But now, Gosavi is at the center of an alleged extortion racket that has blown the lid off the Bollywood drug bust led by NCB officer Sameer Wankhede. The allegation has been made by Gosavi's former bodyguard, who is now an independent witness in the case. Prabhakar Sail claims he overheard Gosavi speaking to one Sam D'Souza on the phone. Gosavi allegedly demanded 25 crores but finally settled at 18 crores and needed to give 8 crores to Wankhede.
त्यांचे मग ते व्हिडिओज वगैरे मी बघितले पुण्याची प्रकरण वगैरे आज मी हा जो व्हिडिओ सादर करत आहे कारण की मला समीर वानखेडे यांची मला भीती वाटायला लागली म्हणून आज मला समीर वानखेडेंची भीती वाटायला लागली म्हणून मी आज व्हिडिओच्या मार्फत तुम्हाला सर्वांना सांगण्याचा प्रयत्न करत आहे.
Sail also claims Gosavi met Shah Rukh Khan's manager Pooja Dadlani, a charge that Gosavi categorically denied when he spoke exclusively to CNN News18.
पूजा डडलानी जो शाहरुख खान की मैनेजर हैं उनसे मिले हैं?
मैं किसी से नहीं मिला हूँ मैडम, मैं किसी से भी नहीं मिला हूँ. उस रात को मैं जो नीचे गया था मेरे को किसी का फोन आया था स्कैन करके, उसने मुझे मिलने के लिए बुलाया था, बाकी मैं किसी से मिला नहीं हूँ.
Amid the claims and the counterclaims, the politics is escalating. Maharashtra Minister Nawab Malik, who has been at loggerheads with Sameer Wankhede, has accused the NCB officer of collecting hafta from Bollywood stars. From dragging in Wankhede's family to questioning his birth certificate to prove that he is a Muslim, even dragging his first marriage to a Muslim doctor, Malik has hit Wankhede where it hurts the most.
फर्जी केसेस बनाना, लोगों से बड़े पैमाने पे पैसा वसूल करना, वो पैसा बिल्डरों के पास पार्क कर देना. कुछ बिल्डर इनकी नई पत्नी के कंपनी में पैसा डालते हैं, हवाले से पैसा भेजा जाता है.
Wankhede has called the charges an attempt to divert attention from the VVIP drug case. But the allegations are serious enough for the NCB to order a vigilance probe against its own officer.
हमारे महानिदेशक ने उसका संज्ञान लेते हुए एक इंक्वायरी मांग की है जो सतर्कता विभाग डील करेगा. जैसी भी सूरत हाल होंगे उसके हिसाब से हम लोग आवश्यक कार्रवाई करेंगे. इस जांच में जो भी आवश्यक लोग होंगे उनको शामिल किया जाएगा.
From sensational claims and counterclaims to high voltage drama, and in the eye of the storm is an IRS officer who has been accused of favoritism, whose personal life has been splashed in the media and whose foreign tours have been questioned. But Sameer Wankhede has said that these allegations are personal and political in nature. The moot question now is, will this set the stage for another center versus state drama, or in which direction will this go? Vinaya Deshpande from Mumbai.
40-year-old Sameer Wankhede is the son of a Mumbai police constable, someone who has worked hard, fought his circumstances and cleared the civil services. His first brush with famous people came when he was posted as a customs officer at the Mumbai airport. He, also of course in the line of duty, played party pooper when India won the World Cup in 2011. He now finds himself almost as famous as the stars he hauled up and summoned. Take a look. Sameer Wankhede, the 40-year-old IRS officer in the middle of a drug storm, finds himself in the limelight much like his famous targets. Aryan Khan, Ananya Pandey, Riya Chakrabarti, Deepika Padukone are part of a long list of stars who have faced the officer on the other side of the table. The son of a police constable, Wankhede began his innings in 2008 as a customs officer at the Mumbai airport. 3 years later came his first brush with fame. It was the year India had won the World Cup. Only Wankhede refused to release the trophy because the 35% custom duty had not been paid. Team India had to make do with a replica. Post that, he detained actors like Minisha Lamba and Anushka Sharma at the airport for not declaring that they were carrying gold and diamond-studded jewelry. Thereafter, other stars like Katrina Kaif, Ranbir Kapoor, singer Mika Singh and several cricketers got in trouble with Mumbai customs. Wankhede says he is not celebrity obsessed as is being made out, he is just doing his job.
देश की सेवा करने के लिए, ईमानदारी से काम करने के लिए, ड्रग्स हटाने के लिए अगर वो मुझे जेल में डालना चाहते हैं तो मैं उससे स्वागत करता हूं.
In 2013, Wankhede moved to the excise department for a few short months. Enough time to slap tax default notices on Anurag Kashyap, Ram Gopal Verma and Vivek Oberoi. Again, the same charge of targeting celebrities cropped up. But those charges intensified as Wankhede joined the NCB as the zonal director. Within 10 days, the agency had arrested actor Riya Chakrabarti and her brother Shauvik in connection with the Sushant Singh Rajput death and drug probe. Then came these headline-grabbing shots that kept the NCB in news for days. Some of India's biggest female stars, Deepika Padukone, Shraddha Kapoor, Sara Ali Khan, Rakulpreet Singh, summoned to the NCB office to explain this video and probe, quote-unquote, the Bollywood drug nexus. No charge sheet has been filed against any of these actresses so far. So was this just a ploy to stay in the headlines or extort money from the rich and famous as is being alleged? No, says Wankhede.
See, already whatever I have to say, we have said in the press release issued by the seniors. I cannot say anything to the media. And all these things, whatever the allegations are, I completely deny. And I cannot state more.
The political backlash has been brutal against the officer who in August was awarded the Home Minister's Medal for Excellence in Investigation. The rather personal attack has been led by Maharashtra's senior cabinet minister Nawab Malik, whose son-in-law Sameer Khan was once arrested by Wankhede in a drug case.
जो हमारे पर पर्सनल अटैक हो रहे हैं, जो मेरी जो मृतक मां है वहां पर अटैक हो रहे हैं, इसकी मैं घोर निंदा करता हूं.
Wankhede incidentally has a close personal connection with the film world. His wife Kranti is a Marathi actress who has acted in some Hindi films as well. Much like a film script, Wankhede's life has seen many twists and turns. But is he the villain or the hero of the story? The suspense continues. With Herman Gomes in Mumbai, in Delhi, I'm Shreya Dhondial. The suspense also continues on whether Aryan Khan will get bail tomorrow. The 23-year-old son of superstar Shah Rukh Khan has been in Arthur Road jail for the last 22 days now. But why has someone who didn't have a speck of drugs in his possession arrested and then denied bail repeatedly? Blame it on the NDPS Act, which many legal experts have called draconian. At one point of time, death penalty was mandatory for drug traffickers under this act. It was scrapped, thankfully, in 2014. Now, the Social Justice Ministry of the Government of India wants the act to be amended once again to send users like Aryan Khan into rehab and not jail. Aryan Khan, son of superstar Shah Rukh Khan, has now been in jail for over 3 weeks. But why has he not got bail despite the fact that he didn't have a speck of drugs in his possession? After all, under Indian law, jail is the exception and bail the rule. Well, blame it on the NDPS Act that presumes that you are guilty till proven innocent. The NDPS Act, often called stringent, even draconian, makes getting bail near impossible, irrespective of whether you are a first-time user or a big-time drug trafficker. In India, drug consumption or possession is a criminal offence. Section 37(1) of the NDPS Act declares that an accused is not to be released on bail unless the court has reasonable grounds to believe that the accused is not guilty and not likely to commit an offence while on bail. And Section 27 of the NDPS Act makes getting bail near impossible. It prescribes imprisonment of up to a year or a fine of up to 20,000 rupees or both for consumption of any narcotic drug or psychotropic substance. It makes no distinction between addicts, first-time users and recreational users. Section 27 has been used in several high-profile cases, including the arrest of Aryan Khan and Riya Chakrabarti. The Act is unforgiving of anyone found in possession of drugs. The NDPS Act only adopts a reformative approach towards addicts. It gives addicts or dependents immunity from prosecution and imprisonment if they volunteer for treatment and rehab, but there is no provision for relief or exemption for first-time users or recreational users. The government itself realizes that the act is too harsh. The Union Social Justice Ministry has sought to decriminalize possession of small quantities of drugs for personal consumption. It has suggested amendments to the act to treat those who use drugs or are dependent on them as victims who need to go into rehab, not jail. But on what basis were stars like Deepika Padukone and Sara Ali Khan and Shraddha Kapoor summoned then? Well, Section 67 of the NDPS Act empowers the Narcotic Control Bureau to summon anyone, absolutely anyone, as a witness. To eliminate the global drug menace, countries met in Paris in 1961 and resolved to come up with a harsh law within 25 years. The NDPS Act was framed by the Rajiv Gandhi government as part of India's obligation to the UN conventions. The Act's primary objective is to deter drug traffickers. However, a majority of those who have been arrested in cases are people with personal consumption. For instance, 97.7% of NDPS cases in Maharashtra in 2017 and 97.3% cases in 2018 involved possession for personal consumption. Realizing the harsh nature of the Act, it was first amended in 1988 when punishment for personal use of drugs was reduced to 1 to 2 years in jail. But the offences were made non-bailable and death penalty was made mandatory for drug traffickers. Thankfully, that was axed from the Act in 2014. With NC Satpathy in New Delhi, I'm Shreya Dhondial. Is it fair for an act not to make a distinction between a first-time user, an addict, and a hardcore drug peddler and treat them the same? Are drug addicts or consumers criminals? Do you know that in 2017, Dharamveer Gandhi, a Lok Sabha MP from Patiala in Punjab, tabled a private member's bill seeking to legalize supply of opium and marijuana? Gandhi was not an ordinary parliamentarian. He was a retired cardiologist, and he sought to distinguish between hard and soft drugs in this country and its long cultural association with cannabis. That story is coming up next. There are more details to that. Do stay with us. What started as a probe into the alleged suicide of actor Sushant Singh Rajput has gone on to become a multi-agency investigation into Bollywood's connection with drugs. But the nature, quantity and names of drugs in the Riya and Aryan story have divided opinion, with many not seeing it as a serious offence. Hash, weed, marijuana, CBD oil are all derivatives of cannabis, a plant that has been celebrated in legend and religion across India. It was perfectly legal in India till 1985. Then why was it banned? CNN News 18's Rajiv Kumar explores the long and controversial history of cannabis in India. Celebrated in legend and religion, cannabis has long been known for its medicinal and spiritual properties in Bharatvarsha. Ancient religious texts are replete with stories and mantras lauding its goodness. Going back as early as 2000 to 1400 BC, the Atharva Veda cites cannabis as a cure to illnesses and also to scare away demons. It mentions cannabis as one of the 5 most sacred plants on earth, while signifying its leaves as the guardian angel.
Shiva was not such a cripple that he needed chemicals from outside. He was stoned, no question about that. He is not using substance, he is the substance.
Ancient religious texts also narrate a strong association between Lord Shiva and cannabis. Lord Shiva is also known as the Lord of Bhang, and cannabis is considered his prasad. Moving forward, the Shushruta Samhita, one of the most important and serious works on ancient medicine, recommends cannabis for multiple diseases including phlegm and diarrhea. Again, this literature dates back 3rd and 8th century BC. During the Middle Ages, soldiers often took a drink of bhang before entering battle, just as the Westerners took a swig of whiskey. While many experts on ancient history call cannabis a native Indian plant, there are others who speculate that it actually arrived with the Aryans in the country. In modern times, the use of cannabis, and especially ganja, by the Shaivites and the Naga sadhus has been a source of amusement for foreign tourists. Its use has gained social acceptance during festivals like Holi, Shivaratri, and of course the Kumbh Mela. Beginning 1838, the Britishers were the first to object to cannabis use amongst Indians and made multiple attempts to criminalize it and tax it. But 147 years later, in 1985, it was Rajiv Gandhi's government which criminalized cannabis, except bhang, under the NDPS Act, inviting imprisonment for its use. Many experts at that time had called this ban ill-conceived, as it ran counter to Indian reality and traditions. Many also argued that the act had actually created a drug problem when there was none. Many called it a mistake made under US pressure. In November 2007, senior BJP leader and former Union Minister Jaswant Singh landed in controversy after opium was served to him at a function in western Rajasthan. Jaswant Singh denied the charge, even as reports highlighted how this was just part of local tradition.
What I would like to know, madam.
In 2015, Biju Janata Dal's MP and Chief Whip in the Lok Sabha, Tathagat Satpathy, publicly acknowledged that he smoked hashish and marijuana in his younger days. Further, in an interview, the journalist turned politician also said that a ban on cannabis is elitist and he would stand up for its repealment in Parliament. And Satpathy was not alone. In 2017, Dharamveer Gandhi, Lok Sabha MP from Patiala in Punjab, tabled a private member's bill seeking to legalize the supply of opium and marijuana. Gandhi, a retired cardiologist, sought to distinguish between hard and soft drugs in the country.
नशा ਦੀ ਸਮੱਸਿਆ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਿਕਰਾਲ ਸਮੱਸਿਆ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਸੰਜੀਦਾ ਹੱਲ ਹੈ ਗੰਭੀਰ ਹੱਲ ਹੈ ਇਹਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਕਾਰਗਰ ਹੱਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਸਿਆਸੀ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਨੇ
Maneka Gandhi, the then Women and Child Development Minister, in a group of ministers meet in 2017 too, pitched for legalizing marijuana for medicinal purposes.
Om Bam Bola Namah Shiva.
A 2019 study on substance abuse by the Ministry of Social Justice estimated that 2.8% or around 3 crore Indians consume cannabis. There is a huge black market operating around cannabis. The question about its use and abuse has now been reignited with the Sushant Singh Rajput case. With Rajiv Kumar in New Delhi, I'm Shreya Dhondial. Now, just to clarify, we are not here to make a case for Aryan Khan or argue that doing drugs is okay. No, it is not okay. But we certainly urge all of you to make a distinction between drug addicts and criminals. Condemning and villainizing someone just because the person is famous or the son of a famous person is against basic human decency and against the spirit of justice. Do remember that President Obama, Barack Obama that is, admitted to smoking up weed. He said it should just be treated like cigarette. Of course, that is for India and its legislature to decide. A quick wrap. Thanks for watching.